Hey folks, this is a mini tutorial for you guys to think about when you are putting together your bibliographies for this last assignment, your closing argument. Most of you actually didn't have your bibliography included in your draft, and that's a problem. I can't really help you what is it called? I can't help you tweak and correct the small minor errors that you might end up getting in your APA citation. So I'm going to give you a crash course here, show you where to go to the Purdue OWL, how to use that resource, how to generate your bibliography. I know you've already done a lot of this work on your last assignment, so this is just going to be a refresher for most of you. So here we go. Starting from the beginning, if I just go to Google and I search for Purdue and the OWL, that stands for Online Writing Lab. Then I hit enter. It's usually the first thing that comes up. Now I can either click on this or I can go straight to the APA Formatting and Style Guide. But if I end up here, I will look at, I guess I'll go up here and look for APA, and I'll search. Here we go, Purdue OWL APA Formatting Style Guide, and here we are. Now I can see from over here in my list that I'm in the APA. If I just look at the general format, I can look at in-text citations. That I have as a separate tutorial for you. So lots of you are going to want to look at that one as well. But let's go here to the reference list. Okay, so I click there and I scroll up. Now this is really important. Actually, this is really important stuff. You should read this, especially the do not bold, underline, use quotation marks for the title, stuff like that. So you want to go through the basic rules. This indenting you don't have to worry about because we're doing this on a blog. The authors' names are inverted. Reference list entries should be alphabetized by the last name of the first author. If you have more than one article by the same author, I don't think anyone does. Capitalize all the major words in the journal titles, so on and so forth. So you can read through these yourself. So if you this tells you how to handle the authors. If you have a single author, this is how you put their name in there. If you have two authors, start with the last name first, and then the initials, and then the last name of the second author and the initials. You'll see, note where the periods are. Note that there's a space in here between this last period and the parentheses with the date. You'll notice in the date you've only got the year. So you know, you got to look for these kind of details. And then after your page numbers, you've got a period. But mostly, this is just to show you how to handle all of these authors. So if you've got 3 to 7 authors, this is how you handle it, so on and so forth. And again, that's always alphabetized by this first word. Okay, so here's how you handle article in a periodical. This is what most of you guys will have. Some of you will use this, some of you will use this electronic sources, online from an let's see, article from a database. Some of you are going to choose to follow this format. That's great. So you want to make sure that you do this for each of your entries. Now, if you go back here, you'll notice that it says you can introduce new ideas as long as they are from the 5 articles you focused on in your ideas review. You've got to address each of those articles at least once in this assignment. So if you only focused on 3 of those, that's all right. You know, you ran out of time or you ran out of space. You had your 1,200 words and you needed to work on another class. I get it. That's fine. But for this next draft, you definitely need to have 5 sources in your bibliography, and you need to refer to each one of those sources at least once, hopefully a couple times, in your in the text of your assignment itself. So make sure you do that. So there's got to be a one-to-one correlation. Okay, there's got to be if something's in your bibliography, it has to appear in your text. If something, it has to appear as a quotation in your text. If there's a quotation in your text, it's got to be from an article that's in your bibliography. You shouldn't have any extra articles in your bibliography that you don't actually quote in the text, and you shouldn't have any quotations in here from articles that didn't make it into your bibliography. Okay? So, 5 articles. Got to make sure they're in your bibliography and you use them all at least once, if not a couple of times, in the text, in the body of your text. Let's see, I'm looking at some notes here. If you want to get rid of one of your original sources from your ideas review, that's okay. You can put in a new thing, but you got to do a new bibliographic entry. Now you've already got the info for most of these entries taken care of, but I did want to point out one excellent example, and that is Ryan Shields. He's in the Tiger group. You can see, well, he's English 102 Tiger. You can get to that from the class website. And his name is Ryan here. So if you go scroll down, you'll see he's got this annotated bibliography, and then he does a great job with his entry. He forgets the period here, that's okay. He'll fix that. It's a very, very minor detail, but he does a nice job of formatting, being very consistent. Here he's missing a space after this comma, but you know, little details like that he's going to pick up. But he's got everything in alphabetical order. Looks really good. This needs to be in parentheses, and if there are 2 letters to the name, we need both of those letters. See here, this should be 2 initials, right? So this is the kind of thing that I'm going to be doing when I look at your examples. But his was particularly strong of the ones of the students who actually included one. Now you'll notice that he has annotations here. They're excellent annotations if you want to take a look at them. They're very good examples. For this assignment, you do not need the annotations. So those are totally optional. You definitely need all of this bibliographic information. This stuff, this paragraph below, is optional. So that's all I have to say about your bibliography. Make sure you go to the Purdue OWL online writing lab, take a look at the APA formatting and style guide, and if you have specific questions, please try to get a hold of me and do whatever you need to do. Thanks.